Panning my audience. B.F. Skinner put it best when he said, the way positive reinforcement is carried out is more important than the amount. As a future teacher, I really want my students to want to be in school, and I want them to want to learn, not because I think that that's what's best, but because they know that's what's best for their lives. I can't think of a better way to do that than instilling good habits, piquing my students' interest and love for school, and by doing that, by encouraging them every step of the way. I can't think of one thing that would really hinder that journey: punishment. Today I want to talk to you about why I disagree punishment should be used in schools. I want to talk to you about punishment in general, the effects that really can come from it, and then give you alternate solutions that you can use for your students in school. If a child acts out in school, there's almost always a reason behind their madness. It's because students come from broken homes and single-parent homes, and it's really hard for students to get that love and affirmation that they seek at home, so they seek it at school. No matter where the attention comes from, whether that's positive or negative, they will seek what they can in every aspect of their schooling. Especially if we use punishment, when we punish students, they associate school as a negative thing, and that's not at all what we want to teach our students. Especially if we use homework as a punishment. I can't think of a worse way than making schoolwork out to be the villain and telling students that when you practice outside of school those skills, that's what you get as a punishment for your bad behavior. When we discourage students and we use negative language during punishment, that is really damaging to students and sticks with them more so than you would ever anticipate. Punishing students teaches them that solutions to their problems is using negative behavior, and negative things come from it. If we use punishment in schools, students will associate school as the bad thing in their lives. We want to teach the opposite. It gives them the wrong idea and has a long-lasting effect. When students know that they're going to get attention from being punished because they act out or they're loud in class, students will fulfill that at all costs. Children, I've been in classrooms where the kid is naughty and he knows that he is being loud and obnoxious and disruptive, and anything he can do to get a laugh from his peers and then attention from the teacher, all eyes are on him. And then he's succeeded in his journey. Students don't care whether they receive that in a negative or positive way. As I said, punishment makes students associate school as a negative thing and really teaches them the bad morals and values that we don't want our students to have. From Education Week, the statistics of high school dropouts is absolutely astonishing. The total number of high school dropouts annually is 3,030,000. That's 3 million students each year that aren't graduating high school and reaching their full potential. As I stated before, it really instills values and habits when we punish in the wrong way, and that goes closely along with the next statistic that 75% of U.S. crimes are committed by high school dropouts. Now, as a future teacher, I don't put all the blame on teachers in the education system, but I wonder what would change in the statistics and what would change in the lives of our students if from day one as a nation we use uplifting, positive reinforcement, encouragement, love, and affirmation rather than negative punishment. There are many ways to teach children properly, many healthy, beneficial ways to really instill those behaviors that we want students to have towards their peers, towards authorities, and in school in general. When you use love and encouragement, it's amazing the things that positive reinforcement can really change. I've witnessed this approach in the classroom, and it works wonders. Instead of punishing the students who are doing something wrong, we praise the students who are doing good. Students will catch on and students will follow. If they're seeking attention at school, why not give it to them in the best way possible? Praise the good. Use positive incentives. Students will catch on. If a student sees that he or she is not being noticed for their negative behavior and they're going to be ignored, but that the students who are paying attention and doing the right things in class are getting that love and affirmation from the teachers and the praise, they will seek out that same exact thing. Ignore the students who are disruptive, yet call on the students who are engaged and paying attention and praise them for it. There's a new approach that's being used in schools called the Nurture Heart approach, and some of you may have heard of this. This technique is more of a way to really use positive reinforcement and get away with the negative connotations that come with punishment. If there's a student misbehaving in class, the teacher comes up and taps the student's shoulder and says, "Reset." Then that puts the responsibility on the student for them to reset themselves and then bring themselves back into the classroom environment when they're ready to do so. A lot of people really like this method, and I think that it puts a lot of the responsibility on the students to recognize what they're doing wrong, understand that it's not what they're supposed to be doing, reset themselves, and then bring themselves back in. this type of nurtured approach has really worked for some classes and hasn't worked so well for others, but I think that we're striving in schools to work towards this new way of instilling these values in our children. We're constantly molding and shaping the lives of our children, and any interaction that you may have with them, whether you may be a teacher or a parent or an uncle or a friend, you always have a chance to be impactful in a child's lives. I hope today you have a little bit of a better perspective of how punishment. I disagree with punishment in schools and how it's wrong and how it can have damaging and long-lasting effects in a child's life, but also how there are different approaches to really instilling the values and morals that you want in our students today, and the positive way to do that is with positive reinforcement. I think there's always a way to reach a child, and you can really never go wrong when you lean towards the side of love, affirmation, affection, and encouragement.